All right, and a pleasant good day, good evening, good night, whatever time of the day you are watching this. Good day to you. I am Calvin Antoine, your information technology teacher. All right, so let's get this online class started. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking at ICT and the personal computer. And that's really an introduction to IT, right? So this is how things going to be running. So I would put up these videos, yeah, well explained and so on. And of course, when you have the video, you can go over and over at your convenience. If you say like, hey, wait, what did he just say? You just slide back the video and we go again. So most likely I would not be having any live classes, right? So as I said, the whole format for my IT classes would be pre-recorded videos, and then I would post assignment every week, or at least I would try to do so. Human limitations may come up and so on, right? So let's get started. Let's get started. All right. So as I said, we're looking at an intro to information technology by Mr. Antoine. ICT and the personal computer. ICT, the acronym ICT is Information and Communications Technology, right? There are three types of personal computers, and that may be abbreviated PC in common use. The first one, the desktop, and that is designed to be used at home or in the office. So you may have a desktop computer at home, yeah. That is it here. So you see that little picture here, desktop. And of course, if you go to office, you go to flow, pay a bill or wherever, you would see, even if a doctor's office and secretary, you will see that they have a desktop somewhere there, and they are often linked together. Now, when we're talking about computers linking together, we normally use that IT term networked, right? And they are networked to share resources, and that includes software and data. And that data there may be the internet, may be the internet. The second one is laptops, notebooks, tablets. And these things are small, light, and with a built-in screen, speakers, microphone. It has a rechargeable battery. And yes, it's normally used by students or business people. I'm sure one of you are using a laptop now, or you're on your tablet. And what I said here, you can attest to the fact. ICT and a personal computer, we're continuing. Remember, we said that there are three categories of personal computers in common use. The next one would be the smartwatch, smartphones. A mobile phone that performs many of the functions of a computer, typically having a touchscreen, internet access, and an operating system capable of running downloaded applications. And we'll get into operating systems a little later on. The computer system. So listen, we need to understand how this thing functions, right? So the computer takes input, it processes it, and it gives output. But listen, sometime based on the input, the process may retrieve it from storage because it already knows the results and then output it, right? So you input the computer, hey, 2 plus 2. The computer processes that and it says, listen, 4. Right? The input might be, listen, open whatever document, computer process and say, oh, yeah, that's on the hard drive. Right? And then it outputs it. Right? And listen, this computer system is how we as humans should function as well. Input. Somebody says, listen, what is your name? You process and say, that question, okay, I need to come to storage because I already know what's my name. And you output your name and you say, listen, hey, my name is John Doe. Right? Now, if they ask you, listen, what is 5 times 4 times 3, which I don't know the answer to, yeah, you would have to process this. And let me see, 5 times 4, let me see, it's 20, 20 times 3. And then you say, oh, hey, 60. I hope that's the correct thing. But remember, I'm IT, I'm not math. So even if I'm wrong, I'm IT. We use technology to give our answers. Yeah, let's continue. The computer system. So we're looking at input devices. A piece of computer hardware equipment used to provide data and control signals to the computer. An example of this is the mouse and the keyboard. And we know that is an input device because when we want to get stuff into the computer, keyword there, we use our keyboard. So if I want to get my name into the computer, I would use the keyboard to enter it. So therefore, the keyboard is an input device, right? Yeah. So for your homework, you can, or you can do it after, yeah, it's still homework. List examples of input devices, output devices, and storage devices. Now, really and truly, this slide was designed for the physical class because I'm going to continue and you're going to see the examples as well. So if you want to, what you can do now that is online, you can pause the video right here and think of some possible input devices in your head. Yeah, and then when we go on, see if you are right, or you can write them down. Yeah, pause the video, you can write them down. Yeah, think about it, write them down, and see when we go on to the next slide if you got it correct. Right. So how many did you get right? Input devices, keyboard. And you should know what every input device is used for. Keyboard used to enter text, data. Mouse, an extension of our hand, is a pointing device. Scanner, if we have something that we call hard copy. So let's say you have a photo that was taken way back in the days of mom and then when they used to print out a set of photos and you want to get it into the computer to send for auntie whoever, yeah, you would use a scanner. And of course we have different types of scanner, which we'll look at when you reach in Form 3 and so on, the different types of scanner. But for now, this scanner, we're talking about the flatbed scanner. Digital camera. It's safe to say much people don't use digital cameras again because you know that there's a digital camera built in into your cell phone. So everybody use cell phone these days. Light pen. When you go to a place like GT Credit Union, and of course it's where you belong. I think I might just show in the ad here. Right. So and you see mom's sign with that pen on that screen. Yeah, it's not a real pen. It's not a real pen that can mark paper and so on. It's a light pen. Yeah. Or if you went with mom or dad when they went to get a license and you see their sign or they go to whatever place and you see they pick up the pen and they sign something on a screen, that is a light pen. Right? Joystick, you should know this one, of course. You understand, use for playing games and so on. Sensors. Sensors are used to detect stuff. An output device is the complete opposite of an input device. It's any device used to send data from a computer to another device. So it can be from computer to computer, or it could be computer to user. Who's a user? We are the users of the computer, right? And output devices, we know those. We know those. In fact, you are looking at one now. You are looking at your monitor. Yeah, that is an output device because we're able to see from the computer what's happening. So the monitor is an output device. Printers. If you need your project printed out, let's say you want to hand it in, yeah, you would need a printer. And that is getting information from the computer. So therefore, your printer is an output device. Now, a plotter, I like to call it a giant printer. So if you watch here in the examples to the right, you will see pretty much a plotter is like a giant printer, right? So when you go to places and you see those big flyers, huge, more than regular size paper, most of it is normally done by a plotter. Or if you watch any movie and you see, they say, hey, wow, this is a large earthquake, man. And you see 5.5 and you see those, it coming out on that broad paper and all the lines and stuff. Yeah, that is a plotter, right? So you know now. Projector, we know this one. We know this one. You go to church, you go to school, you go to whatever meeting and so on. Yeah, you see that the presenter most likely would have a digital projector and the information is outputted from the computer onto a screen or the wall or whatever background he or she chooses. Speakers, oh God, yeah, you young people, as they used to tell us back then, you all like a noise, right? So speakers, we get song from the computer, yeah. So speaker is an output device, and really and truly, the next one, a headphone. A headphone really is like two speaker close to your ear, right? So that is some examples of output devices there. Are you still with me? Remember, this is not live, so if you're tired, you can pause and come back. You can pause, go get something in the fridge to eat. Yeah, regroup, refocus. Let's move on. The computer system, storage device, a piece of computer equipment on which data or information can be stored. Right? Yes, yes, you're right. A flash drive, a flash drive, a flash drive. So from the time you hear the definition, yeah, you can visualize a flash drive. If you need something to store your information on the computer, you get your flash drive. And of course, other storage devices like CDs and so on that people hardly use. Now, in our time, we used to use like a floppy disk. You might even know what a floppy disk is, right? But floppy disk was that it's like a small. Let me see what can be like. It's almost like a small cell phone, but extremely flat, and not as long. And that thing was super fragile. And most of us we would put it in our back pocket as boys, and then we go sit down. It's like, oh no! And then all your work cannot be accessed again. So you guys are in good times. You have digital storage like your flash drive. Right. So storage devices. Remember, I told you about the CDs and stuff. There's magnetic tape that is used by more businesses. Yeah. So you have your hard disk. That's what is your work is being stored on your computer and your laptop and your cell phone. There's a hard disk in there. Your DVDs, you know those. Your CDs. As I said, the magnetic tape more used by businesses, and it's becoming a thing of the past. Flash memory. So like your uh, flash drive, your SD card, your micro SD card. Yeah, and we know that if you have a cell phone, most likely it's going to be using this one here, your micro SD card. And if you have a digital camera, it's going to be using the regular SD cards. Great, great. Y'all learning, man. That's good. That's good. I know all ready for the quiz already. Who ready for the quiz? To mash it up, as we would say in Grenada terms, to mash it up. Yeah, we want only 80 and above. This is nice and this is easy. And remember, you can replay this until you're committed to memory and some of the stuff you know already. So I can't wait to see a high mark. Operating system. Yeah, you might hear nerdy persons, as they say in the US, or those science guys. Yeah, they might say, listen, what OS do you have? And it's like, what? Yeah, OS is just the short form for operating system, right? Every PC, remember PC, personal computer, every PC needs an operating system. It operates the peripheral devices. Peripheral devices are anything that's connected to the computer. So the same, remember we talk about input devices, storage devices, output devices. These are peripheral devices because they all connect to the computer. The operating system decides what order the PC should carry out the tasks. So the operating system is almost like the principal of a school. It says, listen, okay, 1G, you're going to have IT now. Okay, 1B1, you have Spanish. Yeah, and it assigns the different persons to carry out the task. Yeah, that's your operating system. So the operating system says, listen, okay, Moise, listen, you didn't know, do that point here. Yeah, monitor, display this. Yeah, huge task, managing all of those devices. And it provides a standard display on the monitor. So based on your operating system, you can actually know because of that standard display. So you might say, listen, what types of operating system. So if you're watching me from your mobile phone, a popular example is an Android. Yeah, and I'm Android. If you're Apple, good luck to you on that. All right, I shouldn't put my bias. Right, so you have your Apple, which is like your iOS, right, and you have Android. These are two popular operating system found on most mobile computers or most cell phones, right? And then for the desktop and the laptop, you have like your Windows, and there are one or two Windows cell phone. I don't find them to be as common. Yeah. So like me, I'm using Windows 10. I don't know what version of Windows are you using, right? And of course, there is the Apple version for desktops and laptop too. I think that is a Macintosh, right? Lovely. Guys, you're still there? All right. Nice. Let's go. Software, application software. No, we just call it simply these days app, right? So when you hear app, it really is a short form for application software, right? It allows you to perform different tasks on the computer, and it includes word processor, spreadsheet, data handling, desktop publishing, and graphics packages, right? So Chrome that you're using now, or the YouTube app that you're running, all of these things are apps, right? And listen, I know you know about those, so I'm not even going to go into it even more, right? So that would have been your homework there. Introduction to file types. Each piece of software used with a computer hardware is made up of files. A file is a collection of related data. Some files you create yourself, and some files are created by the software designers, right? So if you type out a project and you save, that's you creating a file. When you go to run whatever game you play and so on, those files were created by the software designers or the app designers, or another word one can use like the programmers, right? All files contain code or instruction for the computer to read. Listen to this. You can tell a lot about files from their file name extensions. A file name extension always follows a dot after a file name. So I put it like this. If you see a young man dressed with gray pants, white shirt, a burgundy tie with some yellow and whatever stripes and so on, black shoes, black belt, you can say, listen, hey, that student is associated with the Grenada Boys Secondary School, school of choice. Yeah. Now, it's the same thing. When you see a file that ends with .docx, you know that that file is associated with a word processor. And a common app that we use to access word processor word processing files would be Microsoft Word, the world famous Microsoft Word. Just as if you see a file, whatever the file name, remember it says you can tell about the files from the file name extension. A file name extension always follows the dot after the file. So if you see me.jpg, from once you see that .jpg, you can say, hey, I know that file name extension. It's normally associated with image. So that file is a photo. Yep. What other examples can you say for images? Yep. So if you say .png, you are correct. Another includes BMP and .gif, right? So you see here, we have a list, and when we see .zip, we know that that file is a compressed set of compressed files in there. JPG or JPG, we know that it's a photo. ACCDB, we know that it's a database file and accessed by Microsoft Access, right? So here you were to put some example, a file containing code would be .exe. Files containing image data, we know that we just said .jpg, .bmp, .gif, .png. Word processing document .docx. And if you're still using that outdated version, it could be .doc. All right, so let me thank you for coming with me this far. So guys, I will be posting several quiz on this set of slides. So this week, by the end of this week, I would post something. Then the next week, I would post something. So then this would work like for, I think there's like three quiz on this, and as I said, I will give you weekly. So you know what? Hit me up in the comments on YouTube, and listen, hey, you can go to my YouTube channel too. It's, I think it's PG-13. If I'm not mistaken, most of the contents are, if not all the contents are free. G13, make sure to subscribe for Chosen One TV. In your recreation time, watch one or two funny videos and some we have there. So we are Chosen One TV. We cater for everything. So sorry, I just got to throw in that ad there. So until next time, guys, these are the contents. Remember, you can reach me on Edmudu. You can reach me on Instagram, Chosen One TV. Yeah, at Chosen One TV. That's, you're spelling it out. There's numerous platforms you can reach me. You can text me, WhatsApp. Just make sure don't call, text, or voice note. Yeah, through WhatsApp. All right. So as I said, have a great day. I don't know if you're watching this night, morning, evening. So I said, listen, have a great day and thanks for learning. Yeah. Master, before you do that quiz, make sure you run through this a couple times well so that your score will be in the 80s and above, which is equivalent to a grade A. Until next time.